A zebra flailed. One leg was trapped beneath a fallen branch, twisted at an angle that no living creature should endure. The current slapped against its body, each wave dragging it closer to the rocks that would crush it if it fell further downstream. Its head bobbed just above the water, nostrils flaring, eyes wide with panic, ears flicking to every sound. "They'll be fine," one man said, stepping back. "It's just a zebra. Let nature take care of it." "Better to stay out of it," another muttered. "It'll drown anyway." Clara's lips pressed into a thin line. She could hear the desperation in the animal's gasps, the subtle strain in each movement. She knelt at the edge, assessing the flow of the water, calculating each step she would have to take. The river was deceptive, shallow at first glance, but treacherous beneath the swirling surface. One misstep and both rescuer and rescued could be swept away. Her gloves were already in her bag, her toolkit ready. She had come prepared for emergency rescues, trained to navigate the unpredictable, to face what others feared. But even she paused for a moment, letting the weight of the scene sink in. The zebra's struggle was raw, primal, and every second counted. From the crowd, voices shouted warnings, disbelief, and ridicule. "You can't save it," one farmer barked. "The water is too strong." "It's impossible. She'll get swept away," another added. Clara ignored them. Experience had taught her that hesitation kills more than danger ever could. Every moment wasted was a moment closer to death for the animal. She approached carefully, one hand on a rope she had secured to a nearby tree. The rope was her lifeline, the only thing that might prevent the current from dragging her into the icy grip of the river. Her other hand held a small, reinforced pole with a hook, to lift or guide the trapped leg. The zebra's eyes met hers briefly, wild, full of panic, and something else. A glimmer of recognition, the faintest thread of trust in a stranger who had come. Clara murmured, low and steady, letting the sound reach through the roar of the river. "It's okay. I'm here. I won't leave you." A wave slammed against the animal, forcing it closer to the branch. Clara winced, steadying herself, feeling the cold spray on her face. Her mind raced. Every technique she had ever learned for animal rescue in water, every emergency scenario she had rehearsed flashed through her. One mistake now, one rushed move, and it could all be over. She tied the rope securely to her waist and lowered herself carefully, boots sliding slightly in the mud. The current tugged at her balance, but she held firm, eyes locked on the trapped leg. The branch pressed down with the weight of the river, pinning the zebra's limb. Clara's hands moved quickly but gently, finding a leverage point, testing the strength of the branch, assessing how to lift it without causing further injury. The crowd above shifted uneasily, some shouting, some holding their hands to their mouths. One young girl whispered, "She's going to do it. She has to." Clara focused, counting each shallow breath the zebra took, letting it guide her movements. She wedged the pole beneath the branch, prying gently, careful not to snap the limb. The water surged, the zebra struggled, but Clara's voice remained steady, almost hypnotic in its calm. "I've got you. Just a little more. You can do this." The branch shifted, groaning under the effort. Water sprayed across Clara's face, blinding her momentarily, but she pressed on. Her every muscle burned, adrenaline and fear coursing through her veins. Finally, with a sharp snap, the branch gave way just enough. The zebra let out a terrified squeal, thrashing violently. Clara's gloved hand landed on its flank, steadying it, murmuring soothing words. Above, the crowd fell silent. Some took a step back, some knelt, watching in awe. The animal's struggle slowed, the first signs of relief flickering through its movements. Clara adjusted the rope, guiding the zebra toward the shallows. Every step had to be precise, every movement measured. The river remained unpredictable, the current unforgiving, but she refused to let fear control her. Minutes passed, each one stretched thin with tension. The zebra's breathing began to even, though its body still trembled. Clara kept her focus, her hands never leaving the animal, her voice constant and soothing. The bystanders, finally silent, watched as the impossible unfolded, life returning to the creature they had assumed lost. She whispered, "Almost there. Stay with me." The rope allowed her to lead it inch by inch to the riverbank. Mud and water clung to both of them, exhaustion building, but neither gave up. The crowd watched, some craning to see, some turning away, unable to look at such raw fear and courage. Clara's eyes never left the zebras. She had faced storms, predators, and disasters before, but nothing matched the intensity of watching a life fight for survival under her care, teetering on the edge between death and hope. And she would not let it slip away. The riverbank was just ahead. One careful pull, one steadying hand, and the zebra's legs hit solid ground. It stumbled, shook, and collapsed onto the mud, exhausted, but alive. Clara stayed close, hands pressing gently to its sides, murmuring soothing words as its chest rose and fell, slowly finding rhythm again. Above, the crowd stirred, murmurs of respect replacing ridicule. But Clara ignored them. Her attention remained on the zebra, breathing, trembling, alive. Survival was never a guarantee, but refusal to abandon a life made it possible. The sun dipped lower, shadows stretching across the river and plains. Clara remained kneeling, hands on the zebra's warm, trembling body, knowing the journey to safety was only beginning. But for now, the first step, the hardest step, had been won. The sun had almost vanished behind the horizon, painting the plains in deep oranges and purples. Clara sat beside the zebra, mud-streaked and exhausted, but every breath it took signaled life. The river's roar had diminished into a low, persistent murmur, yet danger still lingered. One wrong step, one sudden movement, and the delicate balance of survival could collapse. From the edge of the bank, shadows moved. The same group of villagers who had mocked the rescue earlier returned, faces anxious, some ashamed, others still skeptical. "Are you sure it's going to survive?" one man called, voice trembling. Clara didn't answer immediately. Her hands were busy stabilizing the zebra's legs, checking for injuries hidden beneath mud and bruises. She finally looked up, eyes sharp and commanding. "It will survive," she said, voice calm but resolute. "If we don't abandon it now, it has a chance." The villagers hesitated. They had walked away when the struggle seemed hopeless, but seeing her unwavering presence, the careful precision of her movements, they sensed something different. She wasn't reckless. She was methodical, experienced, and utterly determined. Her call sign, White Summit, was more than a name. It was a promise, no life left behind. Clara directed them, instructing them to hold the rope taut, clear the bank of debris, and remain silent. The zebra's eyes flicked nervously to each movement, muscles tensing and relaxing under her touch. Every action was deliberate, every instruction measured, designed to keep the animal calm and safe. Then, a faint noise cut through the silence, the distant growl of a predator from deeper in the plains. The zebra flinched violently. Clara's hand moved to its flank instantly. "Steady," she murmured. "I've got you." She scanned the surroundings, calculating the risk, while keeping the animal's focus on her voice. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. Clara guided the zebra, inch by inch, away from the water's edge, toward the shallow, stable ground, where a team of wildlife specialists had arrived. 2 veterinarians in protective gear approached, bringing a stretcher reinforced for large animals. Clara gave precise instructions, each movement choreographed to prevent panic or injury. "Gentle, steady, no sudden moves," she whispered, her voice soft but authoritative. The specialists moved as if guided by an invisible rhythm, each hand and tool following the pattern she set. The zebra's trembling lessened, its breathing more consistent, though still rapid. Clara secured the animal's legs with padded straps, carefully ensuring circulation wasn't cut off. One veterinarian checked the eyes, another assessed the wounds. Clara's hands never left the zebra's side, soothing, calming, and steadying. Finally, with a coordinated effort, the zebra was lifted onto the stretcher. Clara stayed close, her hands pressing lightly to its sides, murmuring reassurances. The crowd had gone silent, watching the impossible unfold, a life saved that no one else thought worth saving. As the vehicle carrying the zebra pulled away, Clara stood at the riverbank, mud-covered, exhausted, yet her posture was unshaken. A young villager approached cautiously. I didn't believe it could be done, he admitted, voice barely above a whisper. Clara shook her head slowly. Most people walk past what they don't understand, but compassion never fails. She glanced toward the horizon, where the river's roar had faded into quiet. Life matters, even when no one else sees it.